She was a woman of breathtaking beauty, the kind who could bring down kingdoms, yet she chose to marry a man nearly 80 years old. On the surface, they appeared to be a loving couple everyone envied, but behind closed doors, they were cold-blooded killers who murdered for profit. Before each killing, the wife would light piles of candles, then take out a collection of exquisite knives. In an atmosphere heavy with ritual, she would chop the murdered man into pieces, and in the dimly lit room, a man stood frozen in terror. Mike's threats left Jerry deeply shaken. Just the thought that his underage daughter was working in the shop owned by these killers was enough to strip him of any courage to resist. He even found himself, half against his will, becoming their accomplice. Soon, the room began to fill with a nauseating stench of blood. Just seconds ago, the dead man had been whole. Now he was nothing but a pile of mangled meat. The next moment, Mike ripped a blood-soaked luxury watch from the corpse's wrist and shoved it into Jerry's hand as a reward for joining the team, even thoughtfully reminding him to wash the blood from his hands. Jerry didn't dare refuse. He rushed to scrub his hands clean. Following Mike's instructions, Jerry helped burn the more difficult parts to dispose of. Once the bones were completely reduced to ash, the two of them carefully gathered the remains. Then, under Mike's lead, they went to a nearby river, throwing the processed chunks of flesh into the water to feed the fish. After that, they scattered the burnt ashes into a gully in the nearby woods. Just like that, the murdered man was erased from the world without a trace. In high spirits, Mike not only encouraged Jerry, but also said he would train him to be his #1 right-hand man. From now on, any jobs like this would be given entirely to him. This only made Jerry feel even more afraid. Back home, he didn't dare tell his wife what had happened. What he didn't know was that his wife had already been secretly involved with Mike. Still unaware, Jerry kept racking his brain for ways to protect his wife and daughter. The next day, however, a group of suited thugs showed up at his door. It turned out that the man Mike had dismembered had a younger brother who was the head of a crime syndicate. When the younger brother learned that his sibling had spent 10 million yen buying an arowana fish from Mike and had mysteriously disappeared right after the deal, he brought his men straight to Jerry's home to demand answers.